This is my dream home office and game station setup. And it may be set up in a way that you've never seen before. How's that, you ask?
It lives inside this big red shed.
You see, I've always wanted to build the most perfect and amazing setup for work, for play, for streaming, for all the things that I'm interested in. And honestly, as a nice escape from the chaos and noise of real life. And in this video, I'm going to show you everything that there is to know about what I consider to be the absolute perfect and ideal setup for me, so that you can start planning your own man cave, home gym, home office, game room, getaway space. So without further ado, let's break down every piece that I have here, starting with what many of you will probably have the most questions about, the PC. Now, when it comes to PCs and electronics in general, I'm not a super smart kind of guy. So I had a friend who is really a lot more into PCs and machines than I am, build out a PC for me on Amazon, and then I was able to purchase it, and then I had him put it together for me. Shout out to you, Andrew, you're the man. And basically I told him, I just want a pretty damn good PC that can handle things like video editing, streaming, playing my 20-year-old video games that I still play today because I'm 31 and I'm stuck in my ways when it comes to gaming. And if you're watching this video, honestly, more likely than not, you've already watched maybe dozens of like PC build out videos, whether it's pre-built or custom or whatever. So I'm gonna keep this brief and I'm just gonna list the specs here. And then I'll also link every piece of this machine down in the description below in case you want to copy this machine, you absolute lazy f***. For my monitors, I went with a dual monitor setup with the layout you see here. I've been playing with it over the last couple of months, you know, changing the layout, changing the orientation, and this is what I've found to be the most comfortable for me and the most useful for me. The main monitor is a 32-inch curved monitor from Gigabyte, and then my secondary monitor is just a cheap monitor from Element. I usually just use it for like Spotify or Discord, or like to have ChatGPT up in a separate window to like ask why I still feel so sad all the time while I'm playing my 20-year-old video game. For my speakers, I went with the Edifier R1700s. They sound pretty dang good for the price, and I think they look quite nice in the background of the setup too. Moving on to the literal foundation of the setup, we have an adjustable sitting and standing desk from the brand Fully. I've had this thing for like 2.5 years and it has showed no sign of like wear and tear or slowing. I think it looks great. It's also got two really nice ports on the back, either for cable management to be fed through, or you can get accessories like a charging port on the back with like a power outlet and a couple USB ports as well. Speaking of accessories, on top of the desk here, we have probably one of my favorite pieces, funny enough, at least my most used piece. It's a desk mat from the brand Journey. So you can find them online pretty easily. It's a nice desk mat all in all. It's got two sides. One is a lot smoother, one is felt. It also has a spot in between those two sides for storing important documents or whatever you need to put in there. And then my favorite part of it is this magnetically attached pad, which I have plugged into that charger port on the desk, which can wirelessly charge a phone and a pair of headphones. So my headphones always live there when I'm not using them. My phone is always on the desk when I'm playing games or doing whatever, working, streaming. So none of my devices really ever run out of battery because of this thing. So if I had to recommend one small piece of this setup to anybody, it would absolutely be the desk mat from Journey with the attached charger. Next up, let's take a look at all the input accessories or the input pieces that live on top of that favorite piece of mine, the desk pad. So starting out with the keyboard, we've got the GMMK Pro 2 from Glorious, and the mouse is from Glorious as well. It's the Model i2 gaming mouse, both of which come with a lot of RGB presets. You can also get into their software to design your own color schemes and lighting setups. This keyboard is actually my first foray into the mechanical keyboard world, and I am absolutely in love with this thing. And my wrist pad for my old man wrists is also from Glorious. As far as the mouse goes, there's a lot of customization you can do, not only with the RGB, but also with the buttons themselves. It has 4 additional buttons on the side and then 2 buttons on top for quick switching between DPI for different tasks or different games. I don't really ever use it because, like I said, I'm a dinosaur with gaming and I just play the simple things. And then lastly, in terms of input devices on top of the desk, we've got the Elgato Stream Deck plus. I said that wrong like 8 times in 8 different takes. So we're gonna take that one because we take it where we can get it. I don't use this thing nearly as much as I should. I love it. I think it's sleek. I think it's a super cool tool. And I do use it during streams pretty often, switching between scenes. You can also use it in editing softwares and other softwares as an additional input device, things that I don't know how to do very well. Maybe when I'm a famous streamer, I'll use it a little bit more, but it's still a lot of fun. Jesus. Now, a big problem that I've had with this space when it came to content creation and streaming, because this is the orientation that the camera is in when I'm at my station, is the lighting. As you can see, I've got these 12 extremely bright can lights, which is great when I'm working out or building Legos or trying to clean, but they're so bright that you can like see into the depths of my soul, and nobody wants to see that. So what I ended up doing was I created some lighting solutions over here with a couple strip lights, some up high, some down low, a couple panel lights in the corners, and then also on top of the monitor, a light bar which shines down with a couple different warm and cool settings. And then also on top, it's got a light with some color settings. For those nights when I'm just absolutely going crazy on stream, we can have a little bit more of a party vibe. Finally, when it came to the vibe and decor of the space, I wanted it to be fun. I wanted it to be an exciting place for me to come to, but I also wanted it to feel a little bit more grown up, a little bit more grounded than like a super bright, super flashy, edgy streamer setup. So I made sure I installed all of these sound panels here in black to keep it nice and dark and rich and dead on the inside, just like me. And initially I had this all completely blacked out, but then that got a little bit depressing. So I found these wood slat looking sound panels that I filled in the middle with just to add a little bit of color, a little bit of decor. Not only the brown with that, but with the RGB top of the monitor light, I can throw out whatever colors I want it to be. So that is, in a nutshell, the setup. There's a couple things we didn't go over, like my boring adult workstation computer over here. We've also not talked about the entire rest of the space, which I did cover in another video. So when we hit 100 subscribers, which is coming up soon, I will make a video detailing every single step of the process, from finding the building that I purchased, to getting it delivered, to getting it finished out on the inside, which was a complete nightmare and headache, to getting electric, internet. If you have any questions about the setup or the space or any piece of equipment that I didn't cover, leave it in the comments below. It'll influence the next video that I make, especially while the channel's still growing and I can answer every comment individually and with videos. So do that before you run out of time and go watch these videos.